Skin the Heart Away Southern T, back with another EP. And today, I'm here with the fight breakdown and prediction between my guy Conor Benn and Chris VanHeerden. And I guess I already kind of ruined it for y'all because I started this with saying my guy Conor Benn. So I understand this is coming from a biased place. But understand, y'all know I only work off facts over here. Whether I favor a guy or not, I only work off the facts. So I'm about to give you this breakdown between Conor Benn and Chris VanHeerden. But I'm finna holler at the people that came through in the building first. Finna holler at the people, in the chat. Shout out my guy Tony Bell. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Tony. Glad you could make it. Shout out to OG Yoda Wise Crush. Glad you could make it, pimp. Glad you could make it. Shout out my guy Ghost. What's good, pimp? Glad you could make it, pimp. Glad you could make it. It's fight week. Conor Benn versus Chris VanHeerden. Errol Spence versus Jordan Ugas, which I'm going to do later. I'm going to even do my guy, Thomas McCartney. He got a big fight coming up against Bellum Smith for the European Cruiserweight title of the world. I'm going to be dropping that one later. But right now, we got Conor Benn versus Chris VanHeerden, and I'm finna share my screen, and we about to get into it. I'm about to share my screen. We about to get into it. What's good, Jaguar Black? Glad you could make it, pimp. Glad you could make it, pimp. Glad you could make it. But okay, let me get my screen share up, and we go get right into it because I ain't gonna be here long today with this video because I got some more videos to give y'all, some more videos to shoot. So let's get to it. Okay, let's get to it. First, we got Chris VanHeerden. Chris VanHeerden is 28-2-1, 5'9", 72-inch reach. And excuse me, y'all, I'm getting this shirt as I do this. Y'all know I'm never prepared. I'm just waking up. I'm just getting going. So bear with your boy. But again, Chris VanHeerden, 5'9", with a 72-inch arm reach. Chris VanHeerden last fight was against Jerome Boost Ennis, which ended in the no contest. Ended in a headbutt. Chris VanHeerden actually headbutted Jerome Boost Ennis, and he bust his own head. Talk about backfiring. I feel like he intentionally tried to headbutt Jerome Boost Ennis because Jerome Boost Ennis was, beating him up. He was getting him that work, and VanHeerden was looking for a way out. So he proceeded to headbutt Jerome Boost Ennis, which caused a cut. Over Chris VanHeerden head, and the fight was stopped. Some notable victories. He got a loss against Errol Spence Jr. TKO lost against Errol Spence Jr. in 2015. Don't really have many noticeable wins, but you can check some of his wins out. You got Kozev, Montees, whatever this guy name is. But Chris VanHeerden, he's coming back in the fight against Conor Benn. Chris VanHeerden, 28, 2 wins, 1 loss. Been rarely inactive, you know what I mean? Been rarely inactive. Not much to really, talk about, as of late with Chris VanHeerden. Chris VanHeerden is facing off against Conor Benn. Conor Benn is a young, up-and-coming welterweight. What's good, DP? Great you sliding through this junk. He's a young, up-and-coming welterweight prospect. Somebody that I'm high on. Be real with you. I'm going to be real with you. I'm high on this guy because I seen his tremendous improvement from his first fight to his last fight. And we're going to go through it a little bit as we get into it. Conor Benn is 25 years of age, 5'8", 20-0 with 13 knockouts. Conor Benn is coming off over probably the best victory of his career. A beautiful performance, you know what I mean, against Chris Algieri. And Chris Algieri isn't, the old Chris Algieri. He's not in his prime, not a prime Chris Algieri. but still, nonetheless, a credible name in Chris Algieri. Now we do want to see Conor Benn step up in these fights and take bigger fights, but we're gonna talk about that also because I think he's right on the cusp. I think he's right at that age where he's on track, and we're gonna talk about that a minute. We'll talk about that in a second. Matter of fact, let's talk about it now. Conor Benn last win is over Chris Algieri, knockout victory in the 4th round. His win before that was versus Adrian Granados, unanimous decision, a 10-round decision. And notice Conor Benn, is still fighting, 10-round fights. Adrian Granados, boom. His third biggest victory, Samuel Vargas. Now this is a knockout victory over Samuel Vargas, TKO in the 1st round. This was a brutal performance by my guy Conor Benn. Samuel Vargas 31-6-2. A wily veteran. Conor Benn went in there, pieced him up a couple of times, put him out. It was beautiful. I mean, that's Conor Benn's first, highlight reel knockout. And we all know about the Chris Algieri one in his last fight. Also, Sebastian Formella. If you're looking like Sebastian Formella, that's because that name, is familiar. It does sound familiar to you because it is familiar. To you. Sebastian Formella has 2 losses. Sebastian Formella fought Conor Benn, and he fought Sean Porter. That's why this name may sound familiar with you. This is the guy that Sean Porter fought right before Errol Spence. So Conor Benn has wins over Sebastian Formella as well. So we got Sebastian Formella, Samuel Vargas, Granados, Chris Algieri. Now I want to point out something else to you guys. Conor Benn is 25 years of age. I want you guys to look at, just the leap that Conor Benn has made, in his career. You know what I mean? Just look at this for a second. Just look at these records. 2-3, 2-4, 3-6, 0-1, 1-1, 1-4, 4-0, 4-0, 5-1, 8-5, 5-4, 13-18. These are Harbor, right? 6-5, 10-2. But now I want you to look at something. 10-2. Since 2019, Conor Benn has faced 24-6, 26-7, 22-1, 31-6, 21-8, 25-3. And now he's facing 28-2. Conor Benn is one of those guys who he came to boxing late. He started boxing in 2016, but he didn't start boxing until he was, high up in his teens. You know what I mean? He didn't start boxing seriously until he was high up in his teens. Something he picked up late, didn't really have an extensive amateur career. So Conor Benn is one of those guys that's learning on the job. I've seen this guy make tremendous leaps and bounds from this fight right here with Mike Cole until this fight right here with Chris Algieri. Conor Benn is one of those guys who I'm high on because I've seen, Conor Benn's work. I've seen Conor Benn, grow from being absolute trash to being one of the better boxers who are, at 147, true enough. If you're going by rank or whatsoever, if you can name me some guys that can beat Conor Benn. You can't get past about 3 or 4 guys before I start telling you that you crazy as hell and you don't know what you're talking about. True story. You know what I mean? But we got Conor Benn versus goddamn Chris VanHeerden. Now, I told y'all from the beginning, I'm high on Conor Benn, seeing his progression, seeing him go from pretty much nothing to what he is today. I'm highly impressed with his improvement. I do want to see him after this Chris VanHeerden fight better people and fight a better caliber of fighter, because I believe now he's finally kind of put it all together, and I think now he's at the point where he can start testing himself. I know a lot of people over here in America they feel like Conor Benn is hype. They feel like he ain't fought nobody. But what I'm saying is, with the people that he's fought in his current resume, him being 25, he's right on track to about anywhere like any other regular American, prospect will be at 25 years old, 20-0. You know what I mean? A couple good credible names on his resume for him to be a 25-year-old to this date. If you really take all the biases out and look at it, credible resume up until this point. Now, this is the point where we're mad at him because we don't want to see him fight this Chris VanHeerden guy who we know he about to spark. I got Conor Benn to knock this dude out in the 7th round. I got Conor Benn 8-round stoppage. You know what I mean? TKO. Conor Benn TKO 8th round, Chris VanHeerden, don't belong in the ring with him. I think Conor Benn go come out, show you his improved boxing skills, his improved head movement, and all that shit for a couple rounds to fill him out. I think around the 4th, 5th round, Conor Benn gonna start to touch him. He gonna start to touch him for real, start to feel him. He gonna realize that Chris VanHeerden don't really belong in the ring with him. And I think about the 7th, 8th round, we gonna see Conor Benn really turn it up and put Chris VanHeerden out of here and put him back in the bleachers where he belongs. After this, I do want to see Conor Benn take a step-up fight, so I'm with y'all there. I do. JD said that's my issue. Ben be calling guys out. He knows I'm below him. Vogue, he 25 years old, G. He fighting, he a prospect. He fighting the same level of people that everybody else that was 25 years old are fighting. You know what I mean? He on the same trajectory as anybody else. You know what I mean? Any other 25-year-old. Ain't no other 25-year-olds. Ain't too many 25-year-olds in there fighting champions and shit like that, except Devin Haney. Tank only had one real belt in his career, and he 27. You know what I mean? Jerome Boots Ennis never had a belt. Virgil Ortiz never had a belt. You know what I mean? He's on the same trajectory. He isn't fighting nobody less or worse. Because Steel Clayton would be Jerome Boots Ennis' best opponent. Mean Machine was Virgil Ortiz's best opponent. Conor Benn fought Chris Algieri. He fought Sebastian Formella, and he fought Adrian Granados. Everybody that I just named is about on the same level. Goddamn, Delorme ain't no higher than Chris Algieri. You know what I mean? All the same thing. But like I was saying, but after this fight, I don't want to see no more Chris VanHeerden. After this fight, I don't want to see no more Chris VanHeerden because I think Conor Benn is too good at this point in his career to be fighting, Chris VanHeerden. I'm judging Conor Benn from, I seen his come up. I seen him mature into the fighter that he is now. So today, this fight starts where I want to see Conor Benn take that next step in opponent class. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see from Conor Benn. I expect him to dominate Chris VanHeerden. Conor Benn, 7th, 8th round knockout. You know what I mean? Teddy said, I'm not knocking him skin and just comparing him to his peers. Boots Virgil makes it seem like his team doesn't believe in him the way we do. I want to see Ben fight someone like Hooker. Agree with you, Teddy. I do agree. Yeah, do you think Broder would be a good fight for Conor Benn? Do I think it'd be a good fight? Right now, I don't really. It makes sense if Conor Benn win. If Conor Benn win, he get Broner name right. If Broner win, he be the top 5 opponent, and he put himself right back in the mix. I personally, I said this before, I do think that's a good fight, for both of them, you know what I mean? Because, it kind of works out for both of them. Puts Broner right back in the top 5, he win, give Conor Benn a name. But, Adrian Broner been sitting down. He ain't been as active, you know what I mean? So he's not a guy at the top of the welterweight division. I want to see him more so fight like Stanonis, Boutiev, Marku, that fought last week. What's the guy named? David Evansonia, Boots, Virgil, maybe a Danny Garcia, maybe a Keith Thurman, or guys like that, guys up in their realm. I want to see them fight, with Jamal James, guys like that up in their realm. I want to see them fight somebody, that we know, somebody that's going to give him a test at this point. I think he wiped the floor with Chris VanHeerden. But make sure y'all stay tuned for my other 7 T's. I'm going to come back. I got to do Earl Spence versus Daniel Ugas, and I'm going to come back with the Tommy McCarthy versus the Bellum Smith fight breakdown and prediction as well. I know Tommy McCarthy and Bellum Smith might not be people but I'm telling you, this weekend, Tommy McCarthy and Bellum Smith are fighting for the Eastern European or the European cruiserweight title. So that's something that's going to be of interest. You know what I mean? It's going to be a big fight coming. Tommy McCarthy has been on Sudden T. Slick dude. I'm telling you, I think this will be his 2nd time, going for a title. Or I think he won the title, then he lost it, and I think he's trying to get it back or something like that. But we got Tommy McCarthy fighting Bellum Smith, fight breakdown and prediction coming up for the Eastern European Cruiserweight title. And, of course, we got Big Fish and Jordanis Ugas fight breakdown and prediction coming up. Yes, DS, AB is fighting Figueroa. He asked me, do I think that will be a good fight for Conor Benn? I'm not saying Adrian Broner fighting Conor Benn at all. He asked, do I think that will be a good fight? So So I answered them. Shout out my guy D. Let me holler at the people that came through the building before I get up out of here. Shout out my guy Tony Bell. He said, salute T. Appreciate you sliding through this joint, Tony. Shout out my guy Yoda Wives Trush. He said, yo, Skinny was good, pimp. Shout out my guy Ghost. Salute. Shout out my guy Jaguar Black. Salute. Shout out my guy DP Rocker. Was good, DP. Glad you could make it. Shout out my guy Tay D. Was good, pimp. Glad you could make it. King Doc. What's good, my man? Appreciate you sliding through this joint. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If y'all in here right now, then hit the like button. Hit the like button before you leave. Appreciate you. Shout out my guy D Young. Glad you could make it. Appreciate you coming through. This man is a troll. But yeah, shout out my guy D Young. Appreciate you sliding through this joint. Okay, that's it. Shout out my guy DS. Appreciate you sliding through this joint. What's good? I'm finna get up out of here. Make sure y'all, stay tuned. We gonna be back shortly. So be on the lookout. Skin Hardaway Sutton T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.